Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just living here after 5 days of ice and snow. And you're greeted today by Mr. Jim Fuller, my partner here, and because Peggy can't get off her hill.
Peggy lives on a big hill.
Peggy,
out in the country, so.
Yeah, well, she lives down 2 hills, and then just to get up her driveway is.
Yeah.
She can't move.
And if you get down the driveway, you probably can't
get back up.
Can't get back up.
Can't get back up.
It has been a trip for the last. I actually don't recall us having snow and ice for this long. I mean, it's been like 8 days.
It's been
9 days.
It's been, what was it they said was it in 19 or something like that? We had a pretty big snow.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like it was gone before this.
Right. Yeah. So it's been a new experience for us to some extent.
Well, usually when it snows at 32, 33, 30 degrees, 25 degrees, and then after that, it's too cold to snow. The biggest snowflakes we had were on the second day, and they were that big around. It was 7 degrees.
Yeah, right.
We did that. That's unusual.
It is unusual.
But we're here.
And everybody loves it for a while, and then you realize you can't go anywhere. And so.
I've got a couple things to say about that.
Well, you're older now, John. You don't love it as much as you might have at one time. Remember Can you remember when this used to be fun?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Heavens, yes. I can remember we would get out in old cars, and it'd run off the ditch. There'd be 5. We'd push it out. We'd go sledding down there in Normandy. And I never will forget Alan Hammers one time. We were going down that Normandy Hill, right where Schmid is, going down through there down to the bottom. And we all had sleds, and he showed up with a Volkswagen hood.
Oh, goodness.
And he put that thing down, and if you know that road,
that's
on the right-hand side, it's almost like looking over a cliff. And all of a sudden, we saw Alan. He had no controls on that car hood. Off he went, and he just disappeared. We drug him up out of the bottom down there.
That sounds like Alan.
But it was fun. I mean, shoot, if you got hurt, you got hurt. If you didn't, you didn't.
Right.
Ride behind cars pulling sleds.
That is don't ever do that, folks. That is one of the most dangerous things you can attempt.
But I'm still a little chilly. It's warmer out there, but when it's 0, it's tough.
It is. It is tough.
And you think of some of these people. Fran and I were talking about it yesterday. Some of the temperatures in some of these places, 25 below 0.
That's unbelievable. Of course, I think one day it was 9 below, according to my car.
Here?
Yeah. One morning, early morning.
Probably so. I mean, it was cold, real cold.
Of course, I guess the car measures the feel-like temperature with the
wind versus the wind chill factor and all of that stuff.
Yeah, right.
But we're here. Great big thank you to all of our city employees.
Oh, yeah. They have really worked hard during this crisis.
And, last night on the board meeting, of course, all the board members were going around and saying thank you. But I didn't hear anybody say anything about thanking TUA.
Yeah.
Those cats are the ones that were out in the middle of the night and it's 5 below, fixing broken water lines. And luckily, we didn't get the ice that came through here that they said we were going to get.
Right.
Because that's when stuff falls. Power lines fall. Right. Think what you do when your power's out and it's 5 below.
Yeah, and we went through that one time back in the 90s, I guess. 98, maybe 93.
But the one thing I like about when the power's out, short power out.
Yeah.
When it's about 30.
Yeah.
Is you look down the street and light bulbs give out a bright light. Candles and kerosene lamps give out sort of a yellow glow.
Yeah, right.
And it just looked so wonderful
And peaceful.
and peaceful
Yeah.
until about 3 days later. And then it ain't funny.
You know, and again, I think this may have been 98 when we had the ice storm here.
Yeah.
I'm sure they know at TUA because
Oh, yeah.
they were going days trying to restore the power, 24/7. So, but I had just put some new appliances in my home, and at the time, and one of them was a gas stove.
That's good.
A cooking stove, and also had a fireplace, and so add some heat throughout that, and so it wasn't cold. But we had no means to cook, I thought, because I thought, well, to get this gas stove on, you have to push this button, and then the stove comes on, which takes
Sparks it.
Yeah, which takes electricity to do that. So anyway, we went 3 or 4 days eating out of cans, and my good buddy Tim Whitmire, who used to work at the Legion with us, who worked for the gas company and knew all about that stuff. For some reason, I was talking to him on the phone after about 3 or 4 days of that, and I said, "Well, it's a shame I can't turn this gas stove on because electricity's, won't come on. We don't have no electricity." He said, "Jim, all you got to do is stick the match in there and push the button. It'll come on. You can just light it with a match. You don't have to have the electricity to do that.
Yeah, when the gas comes on, all that spark does is ignite it.
Yeah.
That match is going to ignite. I mean, they were lit for hundreds of years with matches.
I'm thinking, how stupid of me. Hey,
It is amazing how resourceful you can become
Yeah,
in times of adversity.
sure. Because you have to.
Because you have to.
Yeah.
And I've always been one of those guys who figures a way to do it. I have sticks of different lengths, and I call them space negotiators.
Yeah.
If something falls on the floor, well, I reach to get a stick and reach over and get it. Or first time we did a lot of that was when our studio was at the Legion.
Yeah.
And we had equipment, and the video machine and the sound machine didn't operate on the same time sequence. So you'd have and the boxes to control them were in 2 different spots, and so I could get in the middle and take a stick and push the start button on the video and wait 3 seconds and push the start button on the sound, and it would come on at the same time.
Yeah, and that's where we started at this back in the early 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Around 1990. But, versus now, all that stuff is on the computer, and your soundtrack and your video track is there, and you can move them around and put them where you want to.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in the old days, you had to sync them up manually.
Yeah, sure did.
Anyway.
Sure did. One of the things that's good about being home is we're all so busy these days, and there's something magical about being at home, and all of a sudden you remember, I really kind of like being here.
Yeah. And
you're with your wife or your husband or whatever, the people you love, and you're doing Thanksgiving things and Christmas things that you don't normally do. I mean, Fran and I found a stack of old movies, and we watched some old movies, and we've played backgammon ever since we've been married.
Yeah.
And we've been married 50 years this year. And we have a 50-year ongoing or 49-year ongoing backgammon tournament. And it's brutal. There's no skin taken. Oh, there's plenty of skin taken. There's no love given.
Yeah,
it's
right.
a battleground.
Right.
And we have more fun doing that. And you do that, and you don't cook, do you? Or do
No,
you?
I don't.
See, I love to cook, and so we'll make soup and we'll do this, and then it'll be time to go have a nap.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
A
good
nap
stuff.
anytime you want.
That's good.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, John, one quick thing.
Yeah.
You and I worked for the American Legion for a number of years.
Yes.
And we're involved in it.
Sure. Still.
But the Legion building down on North Washington Street, and I'm sure you drive by it occasionally, they're tearing that building down. First, I thought they were going to do some modifications to it. But today I noticed on my way up here that the end of it where the lounge used to be,
Yeah.
it's already
Gone.
Most of it's already gone. So that building was built in 1973 by the Legion, and was a big deal at that time, because it was about 8,000 square feet at that point, and remodeled and added on to it a few times.
Right.
And when the Legion sold it, it was about 14,000 square feet. And but it's kind of been there forever, and you still hear the police officers and emergency personnel talk about, it's down there on North Washington Street past the old Legion building.
Right.
But that's coming down.
Coming down. Center Star bought that.
Center Stone, yeah.
Bought that.
Yeah.
Kent Stewart told me, who is the head of Centerstone here, that he either has retired or is retiring this year. One of the things that he wanted to do was find a piece of property where they could move to, because he knew that it wouldn't be, at some point the hospital is going to take over that property where they are.
Yeah.
Next to the hospital, because I think that was all built as part of that complex.
Yeah, right.
And so he bought that piece of property to where they could have room to go over there and build a new facility. And I would imagine that everything that had been done to that building when they got in there and tried to figure out what they needed to have and do, I'm sure they tried, because he told me that he was going to try to see if they could keep parts of it.
Yeah.
But and then of course they bought that whole piece of property.
Right, which is about 6 acres,
Yeah.
I guess. So.
Now notice the real estate sign on the back of it on Kings Lane.
Right.
That some 3 acres or so was for sale.
That might be the part that's owned by the surgery center. I'm not sure.
By what?
The surgery center might own that. I don't know. Off of Kings Lane. But anyway.
Yeah. Might be. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Couple of things. When you're sitting at the house and you're looking around and you're thinking, where did all this stuff come from? We don't have any room for any more stuff. When is enough enough? When you're so fat you can't get in your clothes? When that white powder is always on your nose? When your closet's too small for shoes you don't wear? When it's against the law to feel homeless and to feed the homeless and you don't care? And what the hell is up with that hair? When babies are sold and your eyes blind till that little girl is yours, then you draw the line. When you almost can't breathe because of all of the stuff, when is enough enough? When you can't say how you feel because someone's feelings might get hurt, but they'll hire a backhoe to dig up your dirt. When your old man hit you, then you hit Timmy. Took his lunch, and then you hit Timmy. Took his lunch money and bragged. It ain't funny when your honey becomes the punching bag. When black, yellow, white, and red aren't colors anymore, but hate-defining triggers fueling ancient wars. When the Star-Spangled Banner plays and no one stands up, when is enough enough? When you reach the pinnacle, then review the attack, and you see where you're standing is on a woman's back. When you walk to the edge and gaze over the bluff, knowing with one more step you could self-destruct, just when is enough enough? So, with that said, I got some other stuff we'll get to later. We're going to take a short break and come back and do some interviewing.
All right.
See you then.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Get ready to make a splash for a cause. The Duck River Watershed Society invites you to its 3rd annual spring cleanup event on Saturday, March 2nd from noon until 3 at the Fire Lake Public Use and Boat Ramp area in Manchester, Tennessee. Be part of the movement for sustainability, health, and education for the Duck River, America's most diverse waterway, home to over 650 aquatic species and water supply for more than 300,000 people. Mark your calendars and register to meet us at River Forge Road on March 2nd. Let's clean up, team up, and make a splash together.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy when different people show up, and this young man comes from time to time when his boss is busy. Today we have the fire marshal for the Tullahoma City, and that's Nick Kimbrough is over here with us. And we're gonna, first thing I'm gonna do is let you tell us just short about everything the fire department has had to do for the last 4, 5, 6 days.
We tried to preface the weather event that we've had. As we knew the weather was coming in, we put out on our social media platforms updates on the weather and different safety tips during winter weather. During the event, the bulk of our call volume was fall-related injuries.
Yeah, oh heavens, yes.
And then as we got at or near the freezing point, sprinkler pipes started thawing out. So we've had 7 or 8 different facilities in our municipality that have had sprinkler pipes burst that we've had to respond to. But overall, knock on wood, no significant events like fires or anything like that. So
well, it's tough, you know, and we were talking about being resourceful. Resourceful is a great thing, but you have to use common sense when you get resourceful and make sure you don't put a space heater next to a pile of scrap paper.
Yes, sir. Clothes.
And clothes and stuff, and you need to make sure your smoke alarms are
yes, sir.
are ready. And of course, the fire department, our fire department, will come to your house and install smoke alarms free.
Yes. All you have.
There's no reason why you don't need why you don't have an operating smoke alarm.
Absolutely. We have a program that's funded by the State Fire Marshal's Office. All you have to do is call our office, 455-0936, and we're happy to come out. We'll send a fire truck out and install smoke alarms in your house free of charge.
And it's not good. It's not good to take, and I don't even know if people use torpedo heaters anymore, kerosene heaters.
There are a few around.
You know, but that's what, in the construction industry, that's what you used to dry out a house before you had electricity, dry the sheetrock, and, you know, and particularly in the wintertime, keep the house warm where you could work in it.
Yes, sir.
But usually, there might not even be windows in the house yet, or the house is pretty open.
Yes, sir.
You take one of those and put it in your living room, you need to think about all the exhaust that's coming off.
Absolutely.
It'll kill you.
And that's one of the pieces of information we put out on our social media platform prior to the event on safety during extreme temperatures. Specifically spoke about that. You know, if you're going to be using alternate sources of heat, you know, if it is fuel fired, make sure you have carbon monoxide, make sure it's approved for indoor use.
Right.
So we like I said, we tried to head it off prior to the event, putting out all that information on our social media, and hopefully it reached as many people. It seemed like it had, because we've, knock on wood, not had very many events.
That's good. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. You know, we've heard a lot of talk about the snow and about the ice and all that, and guess what? It's getting ready to be rain.
Yes, sir.
What I want to talk to you about right now is, you're the city fire marshal.
Yes, sir.
And give us, you know, a lot of people, we see the chief and we talk about what we just got through talking about, things like that a lot. What type of education, study, courses do you take? How do you get qualified, number one, to be a fire marshal? And give us a short, because I know it's expansive, rundown on what your job really is and the things that you do as Tullahoma's fire marshal.
Okay, well, so I was on an engine company with the Tullahoma Fire Department for since 2007. I've been in this position since 2020. I have a degree in fire science and fire administration. So there's three parts of my job. There's ensuring fire and safety code compliance, fire investigations, and incident safety. So on the code compliance part of it, you have to be certified to do inspections through the International Code Council to go in and ensure that all of the fire and life safety codes are met, both during pre-construction and after construction. So a lot of plan reviews on the front end and then inspections afterwards. On the fire investigative part of it, it's my job, and also we have 5 other fire investigators. We have to determine the cause and origin of every fire. And if we determine that there's an element of criminality to it, we work with law enforcement from Tullahoma Police Department up to federal with ATF. And then on the incident safety part of that, then I monitor on any significant incident like a fire or a major accident, monitor all the operations and advise incident command on all the aspects involved in the incident safety.
Right. The code. How much latitude? You know, a lot of times in codes and administration of codes, we don't use common sense to look at what the rule is versus what might need to happen that is beneficial to the person administering the code, but also to the person who owns the project or owns the facility. What kind of latitudes do you have there?
So in the code, there are certain exceptions that allow you the latitude, as you say. So in lieu of certain things, there may be another solution that we can talk about that may be more cost effective but still offer the same amount of fire protection and life safety. The code essentially allows the code official to meet the spirit of the code. And for me, ensuring that the safety of not only the citizens and the occupants of those buildings, but our firefighters and emergency personnel that are going to respond to that facility is first and foremost the most important thing.
Yes.
So as long as we meet the significant safety requirements in one way or another, then the code allows a little bit of latitude.
Okay, how much participation does the state fire marshal have in, or I guess there's an office. Are you a state fire marshal? You're a city fire marshal.
I'm the city fire marshal. So the state fire marshal, specifically in our jurisdiction, has purview over things like schools, certain occupancies like hotels and things like that. But I do work
apartment buildings, probably.
certain apartment buildings. I work side by side with the state fire marshal when they come into town. We've worked on multiple projects together. Whenever we do the school inspections, we do them all together.
Right.
And there's not a lot of latitude with the state fire marshal. But we've got a really good working relationship with the state fire marshal through our office.
So when they come in and what they say is so, most of the time.
Pretty much, that's it.
But you both function with the same rules?
Yeah. So our doctrine is the International Code Council,
right.
International Fire Code, just depending on what edition they're under. Currently, we just adopted the 2021 Fire Code. State Fire Marshal is still under the 2012, but is currently updating to the current model as well.
Why would the state be operating under
legislation? It's a legislative process, so it takes a while to get through it, get everything approved, and get all the changes made that need to be changed. Because in the different code editions that update every 4 years, there's a ton of updates and stuff like that, and you've got to go through every single one and make sure that it fits your needs and what needs to be exempt, what doesn't need to be exempt. So it's a process.
And I'll guarantee you none of them are driving a 2012 car.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Yeah, it's a legislative process.
Yeah,
it takes
sure
some getting
is.
through.
It sure is. With the growth that we are going to see coming into Tullahoma, as is coming into the whole Mid-South where we live, Murfreesboro, Manchester, Upper Alabama, Lower Kentucky, this whole region is just, the train's coming and it's full.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to stop at the station. Everybody's going to get off.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about all of that, and how do you feel like we're set up to deal with it?
We're specifically from a fire department standpoint, we've tried to head it off and plan for the expansion, that we see coming. And with fire codes, we've been in, tons of meeting with local legislators and department heads on putting that infrastructure in place ahead of time. So I feel like we're in a good place for it.
Will there need to be two of you?
Well, we currently there are 4 certified inspectors at the fire department. So if I'm absent or not at work, we have other inspectors that can go out and perform inspections and look at plan reviews. They're under job titles, like the fire chief. He's a certified fire inspector.
Right.
So that's my sole responsibility, but we do have other inspectors to help share that workload.
Yeah, because it's hard. It's going to be hard. And you're looking at a construction guy who's paying thousands and thousands of dollars a week in interest.
Yes, sir.
Every time he has to wait another week for something, he's paying for it.
Yeah, we pride ourselves with our plans reviews turnaround time right now.
Well, good for you, because that's one of the most important things is making decisions, getting decisions made.
Yes, sir.
And telling these cats who are investing their money in our town in a timely basis, they need answers.
Yes, sir.
They can't put it off for let's put that off till next month, because it might be $10,000 worth of interest to that guy.
Absolutely.
You know, it doesn't affect your dinner table or the decision maker's dinner table, but it certainly does affect theirs.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, thanks for coming today.
Yes, sir.
And anytime, man, you just know that you're welcome to come back.
I appreciate that.
And thank you for the job you do. And thank you for stepping up and taking the time to prepare yourself and educate yourself to do the job you do.
I appreciate
we
that.
appreciate you for doing that. Not everybody wants to take those steps and work that hard to make themselves prepared to do stuff like you do.
I certainly appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you deserve appreciation.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, buddy. We'll see you right after these commercials.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. The trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Met the enemy, and he is us.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
You know, I'm a lucky guy today. We started off the show with partner Jim Fuller, and now we've got partner Jerry Harris on here, and the reason why is that son of yours and some folks here in town. I guess, Jerry, how long has the archery program been
Oh, Lord.
going on?
Don't see the first question I don't know the answer to.
Well, but it's at least
several
10 years.
Oh, it's been several years. It started out one way, and now we've got kids, or Josh does have kids coming in from all around. Taylor's Archery here in Tullahoma is the main sponsor, but Russell Barnett, we help sponsor it. Host My Calls, my daughter's company, Fortune Management, Giles Jewelry. I mean, if it wasn't for the people who help sponsor the tournaments, and they helped sponsor a tournament this weekend that even with the weather, that place was packed. We were shooting upstairs and downstairs gym. So, I mean, there's kids, but let me read this to you. This is the way Taylor's archery team finished. They won the Junior Eagle team with Briley Harris, my granddaughter. She was first. Cooper Terrell was first in his division, and then Hadley Grago was second. The Eagle team won. Hunter Harris, my grandson, was second. Brody Wilson was third. Evelyn Northcott, I'm going to tell you about her, was first. Kager Masters was third. Carter Bartlow third. Madison Davis first. Young adults, we finished second. Ashley Scott was first. Jackson Paris first. And Isabella Frame was third. But this Evelyn Northcott, I watched her, bless her heart. She would get an X and she'd turn around and
Now,
look
what's
at
an X?
That's dead center.
Okay.
She would turn around and look at her dad, I guess, or her mom, and wink. Say, I got another. I mean, she was a piece of work. But I am really proud. My granddaughter, Briley, has won this several times. But my grandson, Hunter, now he had been wanting to get over 150, which is a perfect score. He got one Saturday and still finished second. And the reason for that is in the middle of each one of these targets is an X. And they count the number of X's at the end. He got 18. The young boy that beat him got 21.
So you can be inside the bullseye and not be in the X.
That's right.
Okay.
But it was, some of these kids, they got bows bigger than them. My other granddaughter, Kiki Hartman, now she is a great shooter, but Saturday she got nervous and she was off a couple of times and it just blew her away. I mean, these kids, this is a mental as much as physical.
Sure it is.
And when they get out there, they know if they misfire, drop a pin, anything like this.
And their buddies right next to them.
It affects them. But I watched them shoot, and I am proud of Josh. I'm proud of Tracy. I'm proud of everybody that works with these kids to shoot. There's my grandson. He just shot. But it's just, and what's amazing, John, is you'll see, and both my granddaughters are this way. You're either right or left eye dominant. And you have to, when you're bow shooting, that determines which way you shoot, which is if it's right-handed or left-handed. And both my granddaughters shoot left-handed, but they're right-handed.
And you know, just that right there is it takes, you know, you're flipping everything you do.
Everything. But I sat there and watched them like, this right here is downstairs. And upstairs was just as bad because you have targets that are 10 yards away. And then right there's Briley, that's my youngest granddaughter. You have targets that are 10 yards away and then you have them shooting at 20 yards. So
you know, I remember, Jerry, probably, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, might have been 10 years ago. You sent me out around Timms Ford Lake, and Josh had a bunch of kids out there, and they had deer targets and different, I think probably had boar and different things, and they were walking a trail that had been set up,
That's 3D.
to shoot. Well, I mean, but the thing about it is, to get that involved with it, and to have somebody like Josh and these other people that are involved, to take it to this level.
Right.
You know, we talk about our wrestling, we talk about our football, we talk about our bowling, basketball, and all this stuff. This is not a school supported program, is it?
This is something that we have shooters from. Well, I believe, and I think I'm right when I say that, we have them from Tullahoma, Franklin County, Bedford County, Moore County. We have them from all around that come in to Taylor's and shoot. Right there's Joe Heights' granddaughter. She's out there shooting. She's a good archer, but she doesn't shoot with Taylor. She's with another group, and that's the whole thing. You have teams all over the place, and they get out here, and right there's a little Northcott girl. Now, buddy, you see her pulling them arrows out of that head. It's just, it's amazing to watch these kids. And some of them, if you notice the different heights, some of them aren't 3 foot tall.
Now, let me ask a question. How expensive is this sport to get into?
That, it depends on, you can start out with a used bow and kind of elevate.
Yeah.
Because Josh gets, he takes everything serious. And Hunter, my grandson, if you give him any money, he puts it in his pocket and he'll tell you right off the bat, well, I need something on my bow. And that's what he's going for. But you have, and this is from what I'm just watching, different weighted arrows that will help an archer. So when you start talking about the total cost, I'd be afraid to say, because I've seen bows that you can buy for $100, and I've seen bows you can buy for $700 or $800. So it's just dependent on how dedicated you want to be, and then again, where you want to go. Because Josh has had kids that's won the state championship, national championship. He's had them that's won scholarships, and that's what you want to look at. What can you get out of it, and what can buy? Like if,
can one of these kids end up on the Olympic team at some point?
Yes. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you, a lot of people don't realize that you go to YouTube, you can look up the first Olympics in Athens and watch how the United States did. There's 2 episodes on there, but they do everything. Back then they didn't have the archer, but they did have pistol shooting. But it has elevated.
Right.
So now you got boxing, and you have archery. So yes, they could end up on the Olympics and going to wherever.
Paris.
That's right, wherever it is, because this is a sport.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's something that
our kids are good at here in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
That's right.
Because of Taylor's Archery and Josh Harris.
And
Jerry Harris and the other sponsors.
Other sponsors help, but there's other people involved with them. Josh is one of the coaches, and he has other coaches over there that work with them too. But this is something that a lot of families are involved in. I mean, they go deer hunting, turkey hunting, and this is part of it. But I'm awful proud of Josh, and I'm proud of my grandkids for the way they're shooting.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Just ask me sometimes, and I'll tell you. I'm very proud of what they do and how they are, and I'm proud of the people that support him. Russell Barnett, no hesitation, put us down. Giles Dunn. I mean, these are people that support our kids, and they support my grandchildren. So.
You know, and a lot of folks don't realize that. A lot of folks just think this stuff just happens.
It don't.
It takes money. It's just like us right here. A lot of folks think somebody pays for all of this. We do. The sponsors are who pays for it.
The sponsors.
And, you know, if you haven't sponsored some of the things we do here, get in touch with Jerry. Get in touch with me. Get in touch with Jim Fuller. You know, it's very reasonable
advertising
to go to 7 counties.
Yeah.
And then we also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook channel, And we stream a lot of the stuff live, so you don't have to have TV to watch it.
That's
and, and of course, we also have What a Horse.
We got What a Horse with a new co-host. There's one thing I want to point out: the dedication. You know, this is big to me. Josh and all of these guys were up at the high school parking lot shoveling snow and ice to where people could get in there and park and didn't. I mean, to me, that's dedication. We've got this date. We want to have this. And I believe there was only one group that didn't come, and it was a school group, and they could not come because school was out. So, dedication.
You know what,
buddy.
I heard a term recently. I've heard it several times on television, different shows, different commercials, and I love it. And it's dedication.
Dedication. Well,
that's when Dad shows up and does the right thing that dads should do with their kids to make those kids as good as they can be. It's called dedication. And Josh Harris and Jerry Harris, knee deep in dedication.
I love it.
I know
I love it. I'm going to start using that.
All right, folks, we'll be back after. Oh, speaking about ads, we'll be back after these messages.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get ready to make a splash for a cause. The Duck River Watershed Society invites you to its 3rd annual spring cleanup event on Saturday, March 2nd from noon until 3 at the Fire Lake Public Use and Boat Ramp area in Manchester, Tennessee. Be part of the movement for sustainability, health, and education for the Duck River, America's most diverse waterway, home to over 650 aquatic species and water supply for more than 300,000 people. Mark your calendars and register to meet us at River Forge Road on March 2nd. Let's clean up, team up, and make a splash together.
There's a lot of talk about the risks associated with the COVID-19 vaccine, but the reality is, it's safer than going for a run. Give it a shot. Find a free appointment today at covid19.tn.gov.
Times are very challenging right now, and stress levels are high.
Reports indicate overdoses on the rise in communities across the state of Tennessee.
Those experiencing addiction and their loved ones may be struggling to navigate through all the change.
We want you to know that deaths from overdose are preventable.
And help is available.
Anytime.
Day or night.
How do I know?
How do I know?
I am the face of recovery
in Tennessee.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch and John. We are here today for segment 96 of the Conversations with John and Pat.
Rolling.
Who would ever believed? What you got?
A Carter song. Old Carter family song. Keep on the sunny side of life.
Johnny Cash's wife was a Carter.
He married
is that
Jean.
correct? Okay.
And then Maybelle Carter, she would play the auto harp or the dulcimer or whatever. They were truly Appalachian, you might say, and
didn't apologize for it.
And the old man, A.P. Carter, I think is A.P. Carter. Yeah. They would record, but he would go out in the mountains and pick up all these old tunes from mountaineers and people who were so far back in the mountains, all they knew was a few tunes. Grandpa told them or whatever, and I understand that's kind of where Tom Dooley, the song Tom Dooley came from, in a way. Not from AP, but it came from that sort of gathering information. Well, there's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and sunny side too. If you meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side will all come to you. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help you every day. It will brighten up your way if you stay on the sunny side of life. Let us jade with the song Hope and Day. Though the moments be cloudy or fair, let us trust in our Savior always to keep us everyone is care. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side of life. It will help you every day. It will brighten up your way if you keep on the sunny side of life. Nice little song. I messed up on the verses.
It didn't trip bad.
It wasn't too bad. You can get the gist of it, can't you, folks?
I thought I needed to bring the cheat sheet a little bit closer to you, John, but you handled that well. What we got?
You know, Pat, I hardly ever pick my guitar up unless I go out to play somewhere. Don't practice much, and it's probably very evident by what you see right here. But I hadn't tried that song.
Well, that's you know, you did a great job coaching my older son in track, and he used to like to talk about cross-country people, especially that didn't train much, but they'd run in races, and then in the year they've already run about 12 races, so they're getting a little bit better and better and better, even though they didn't train. He called that training by racing. So see, that's the same thing you're doing with the guitar.
Well, your boy was a champion.
I don't know about that.
He was a good guy, and all your kids are.
Yeah,
they're so much smarter than you, Pat.
True.
But they were good athletes. Good. Now, Martha didn't care about athletics. She was a good English student. She teaches English now, doesn't she?
She did a real good job working wrestling tournaments. But that was as a scorekeeper.
Was she voluntold to do that?
No, she just enjoyed it. Yeah,
I heard that term lately, volunteer instead of volunteering, you voluntold. Daddy told her to voluntold, told her. We're talking about the 1991 state baseball championship, either 90 or 91. June 1st, 1990 was the date on the newspaper I saw. I thought it was always 91, but maybe it's 1990. Well, you'll recognize some of the names, and I think it was 91, but who knows. In the state tournament, THS baseball team.
Now this would be our second one, right? We've had a segment on the 74
team. 74.
Right.
And I'm sticking with 91, but I'll probably get a lot of hate mail for this.
Oh, yeah.
No, everybody forgives us, Pat, because they know us.
It helps that nobody knows their P.O. box.
We try. The record for the THS baseball team that year was 29-5. That's a lot of wins, few losses. In the state tournament, they defeated Milam 3-1, and then they played Marion County and beat them 6-0, and then I guess turned around again, had to play them again 14-0. Marion County didn't score on them.
Were most of the losses in our district, like with the 74 team, had had some close games with Franklin County?
Probably Franklin County. Okay. I'm not sure about Lewisburg. I'm not sure about them, but they did play them in the regionals. The finals lineup were these players. Mark Mattisitz at catcher. First base, Todd Waller. Second base, Andy Stone. Shortstop, Gary Phillips. Third base, Chris Rickman. Outfield, Kevin Suits, Craig Revis, and Tony Sherfield. There were 4 pitchers that divided their time pitching. Craig Revis, Chris Rickman, Mark Mattisitz, and Gary Phillips. And in the state tournament,
were they about even, John? You know, the 74 team had good pitching, but J.R. Fair was a really, he could shut them down in a really big game.
Jerry was a dominant pitcher, and these pitchers were good, but they were more of a balanced type of group, I'd say. And because it says, these are notes I took from a text I got from Mr. Jerry Mathis. Thank you, Jerry, for doing this. Never had the same pitcher in the state tournament. Each game there was a different pitcher. So that was shows you some of the balance they had.
Because I think JR appeared 3 times.
Yeah. This team felt that no one could beat them, according to Mr. Mathis, and they defeated Marshall County 3-0 in the final regional game. He said that Jason Lane Maxwell, who I'm familiar with from Marshall
really
County,
good baseball player.
I'm from Marshall County, know about this guy, who went to the pros and played. Also, he played at MTSU before he went pro, and played with Chris and Craig there at MTSU. And I know a little story about Jason Lane Maxwell. He told this to those 2 boys when they played on the baseball team at MTSU. He said, "We knew we were in trouble when we came to Tullahoma to play y'all, because 3 of y'all were standing on home plate and throwing the ball over the left field fence and and the ball was ricocheting off limbs off the trees out there in the left field."
Yeah, those pretty good arms.
That shows you some of the strength they had.
Who were those, John?
Well, I don't know. Chris was one of them, and then I think Chris told me, I'm thinking it was maybe Gary Phillips and perhaps can't think of his name right now, but I'll tell you, arms are, you can develop an arm, but there's a lot to just
throwing distance in the off season will pick up arm strength.
And Chris and those boys, they call that long toss. Jimmy Rickman and I one time were long toss in that backyard at Chapel Hill. Out back there was a walnut tree and still had holes on the wall.
Is this when you were young or older?
No, we were older.
Did you go into rehab soon after?
We took those walnuts and we were trying to hit the barn roof. Then it wasn't probably that far because but we could not hit the barn roof with our old arms. And then Chris came out the back door and he picked up one and kind of flicked his wrist and it hit the roof. And it's
competition over.
You're born with a good arm. Sprinters I always thought are born. You can train them to be faster, but sprinters I think that's they're born. Craig Revis struck out 13 batters and they won because they felt they believed in themselves, and that was a quote from Jerry. And that team was a blessing to this community. They played well. I wish I had a picture that I'd sent to Philip to put on today. Put on that one we have, Philip. there's the one that he did receive, and I had one of the total team, and it didn't appear on his email.
Well, I hate that we didn't get the whole team, but the starters that you called out were awful good. Every one of them was a really good player.
They were.
Yeah.
And there was, you think about Mark Madison. He played at, he was a catcher. Now, when he pitched, somebody came in to play his catching position. They were a very important dynamic in that team. And you would have to think about Craig Revis being the same way, or Chris. I don't know who played third when Chris was pitching, or Gary Phillips.
Both of those played at MTSU.
Yeah.
Where did Gary play college ball? He was in the minor league system for a pretty good while.
I'm not sure, Pat. Yeah. I'm not sure. All those boys were very
Sheffield,
capable.
of course, was a great player and was in the minor league system for a while. That was one fine baseball team.
And, we haven't said anything about this in any of our preceding segments, but, we've got some good players in the pros right now. I know the two Sheffield boys, and then there's someone else. There's another guy that's doing real well.
He's with Baltimore.
Yeah. Gosh, Pat.
Oh, that's bad. We'll have to
think about that, and maybe. Well, we'll just have to hang.
Next segment we'll have it, and that's because that gentleman's been a good player.
We'll try to bring that up another time. And thank you so much for listening to us about the 91. We assume it's 91, but it might be 90.
Tullahoma's second state championship team.
We know that for sure.
Right. We know who the players were. We just don't know when it was for sure. John, that finishes segment 96. Yes. We were walking on the 100, and please come back and see, because I believe management's going to let us come back for 97. Thank you all.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get Get inspired at SheCanStem.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Hello, folks. We're back, and I'm over here having an offset discussion with my buddy, co-host of John and Pat, songwriting partner of mine, Mr. John Rickman, and he's here to talk about a great event that's being held at Grace Baptist Church.
Thank you, John. I'm glad to be able to do this, and we do this every year, and it's in the month of January, and I'm so glad that big storm blew through, and it's going to be all right, I think, Saturday. Yeah. It might be some rain, but we're going to be inside.
Now, when is it?
It's Saturday night, Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock at Grace Baptist Church.
Yeah.
And we're going to have this is all free, John. No
free?
Expense to anybody who comes. No expense. And we've got barbecue, chili, side desserts. We've got coleslaw, wild hog stew, baked beans and chips, banana pudding, cookies, and brownies and that'll be in our GOC or Grace Outreach Center. And
gonna be any fried pies?
I doubt it, John. It's not on my list here.
Okay.
But it's a great day. Some of the people that we've had before speaking at our event, we moved from the GOC over to the sanctuary. Jimmy Sykes of Spiritual Outdoors TV. I'm reading my son's writing, Chris, and
who's one of the main cogs.
And he writes kind of like me. Sometimes I can't read it myself. Cowboy James Scott, professional fisherman Clay Dyer. That boy was remarkable. Didn't have legs or arms. I mean, it's amazing what he was able to do, doing things with his mouth to
fish.
To fish. You wouldn't believe it, John. I couldn't believe it. Legendary fisherman Hank Parker. And one of my favorite people that I've known, and he was coach at Tullahoma High, Jeff Taylor, who spoke one time, and we had it on film, and maybe someday we'll repeat that one.
Yeah, it'd be good.
He was
good
great.
Guy. Passed with cancer.
Right. Our Grace Outdoors is a group of men interested in the outdoors as they are in the Lord. And we do things together from time to time. Now, I'm probably the older person in the group. They let me out a lot of this, but they skeet, shoot, canoe, trail, RVing, fishing, and all of these activities are done with younger kids.
Right.
They get kids that maybe they can't spend much time with their fathers, and it's really just a good organization, good group of guys. And some of the guys aren't members of our church. They're just interested people in outdoors, and they're Christians. Some of the prizes we're going to have this year.
Prizes?
Big prize. Well, we got one big prize, which everybody knows, most everybody would know, Charles Waller, who had Bumblebee Boats here in Tullahoma. Chris found a man down in Alabama who had a Bumblebee boat for sale. There's a 2006. He went to look at it. It was in good shape. It's got a motor, trailer, the thing that guides you along. But anyway,
depth finder?
Yeah, I don't know if it has that or not, but trolling motor, that's what I meant to say. But Chris and this gentleman made a deal, and he's brought it back, and that's going to be our main prize that we draw for. We're drawing also for cooler, butcher knife, set, hunting gear, and more. And there'll be also a silent auction, this type thing. So, but back to the boat. We put all the entries. You pay nothing for the entry. You just come and you put your name on there. Probably.
And somebody's going to walk out of there with a.
We're going to roll it in a drum, pull out a name, and somebody will win that. And we have silent auction items. I think I mentioned that. But January 27th, that's this coming Saturday, and we will honor our past, present military and first responders. We invite everybody to come. You men, grandfathers, fathers, ladies, anyone who wants to come. But the young men need to be a part of a group.
Bring your children.
Bring your children. Let them have a good time. And hear some good things, be around some good people. It's a free event, and so I hope, put that up one more time, Philip, if you will. Maybe Philip will put that up. There it is. Honoring Freedom and the Grace Outdoors, and there's that boat, and we look forward to that. Now,
what a prize. Again, you don't have to pay to go to this thing.
Nothing, no. There will be donation boxes, but don't drop anything in there if you don't want to.
But we hope you won't.
Well, yeah, well, you can put some in there if you want to. Now, I'd like to bring up one more thing, John.
Okay.
You and I did this together. You and I wrote a song together, and this song is called Once Again. All the songs I've ever written were by myself, and John has written most of his by himself, but he's co-wrote. But I decided one day, I came up with a second verse, and I said, John, I need help on this, and I'd like to co-write this with you. So we came up with this. This little song is called Once Again, and it's a religious song. It's a song that I think it's wound up being a song that you play at funerals for people who are very thought so well of. And these are the lyrics. Some folks in this world are just like angels, and they brighten up our day. They'll always be there for you as you travel along life's way. And we all grieve for our loved ones when their earthly journey ends, but we know up in heaven we will see them once again. Once again, we will see our loved ones once again. Beyond those pearly gates, opened by the nail-scarred hands, we will see our loved ones once again. And then the great commandment Jesus said was, so love God and love your neighbor. Show kindness to your fellow man. Then someday, sweet smiling faces you'll see again in glory land. Once again, we will see our loved ones once again. Just beyond those pearly gates, opened by the nail-scarred hands, we will see our loved ones once again.
Once again, we will see our loved ones once again. Just beyond those pearly gates, opened by the nail-scarred hands, we will see our loved ones once again. Mr. John Rickman, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, and join friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Get ready to make a splash for a cause. The Duck River Watershed Society invites you to its 3rd annual spring cleanup event on Saturday, March 2nd from noon until 3 at the Fire Lake Public Use and Boat Ramp area in Manchester, Tennessee. Be part of the movement for sustainability, health, and education for the Duck River, America's most diverse waterway, home to over 650 aquatic species and water supply for more than 300,000 people. Mark your calendars and register to meet us at River Forge Road on March 2nd. Let's clean up, team up, and make a splash together. So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and my buddy Jackie Duncan's here to give a report from the North Pole. Did it snow at your house, Jackie?
Man, whoo. It snowed, and then it snowed some more, then it came back and snowed some more. So we didn't leave enough, so it came back and did it some more.
Then it got cold.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, man, I tell you what, I haven't seen anything like this. I've been here all my life, and I haven't seen anything quite like this.
Tough.
Yeah.
Did you leave your water dripping?
I did not. And I've been blessed all along. Every time it gets cold, I know the procedure is to leave your water going, but now if your water, a lot of people, most people's, I think, facilities, bathrooms and sinks and whatever else, the water source is in their side of their house. Usually there's a wall against it. There's usually up against a wall for the plumbing is almost outside, you know,
right.
Only there's a wall separating it. And I can understand leaving your water running, but now when you're inside, like me, and of course over there where I live, and that house has been layered over the years, you know, it started out with the house, then she added a bakery, then she added a restaurant and all that stuff. So there's a lot of inner works where the facilities are, the faucets and water sources and everything. So there's not an outside wall to it. And I just kind of trust cutting the heat up a little bit and circulating,
let her go.
Circulating the air rather, and let her go. And I didn't have any problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
Now the power went out once, but thank you for TUA, Tullahoma Utilities Authority, for maintaining just a good system. You know, I thought I got through this very well. My power went out once for about 5 minutes. And
well, they did. I guess on that first night, I believe it was. They did that and we heard ahead of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a friend whose brother works with TVA and said, y'all are liable to have some rolling power outages. And ours went off twice. Stayed off for 15 minutes each time.
I know some other folks that had theirs went out, and one of the guys from church called me, one of our deacons, and he was saying that his power was off. And I told him, well, you know, this week right now, we're having we're hosting a homeless shelter.
Sure.
Yeah, our church it goes around different churches, and this is our week to do it. So we started opening it up on Sunday night, and this guy, we were talking just right before when it got to snowing really good, and I was talking with one of my deacons on the phone, and he said he was talking about the power being out and all. I said, well, look, I said, if you can get to the church, we'll just start the homeless shelter early. I said, and we'll start it with us, because we'll be homeless per se. But anyway, he thought about it for a little bit, and then he texted me back his phone. He had, the only way we had was service we had between us was his cell phone, because his power was out. So anyway, and then he told me he couldn't get he said he couldn't get his garage door open because he didn't have any power. I said, well, so I texted him back and said, if I need to come and get you, I will. Of course, he's out there, I forget the name of it's on the other end of town, right on the Shelbyville end. And I thought, well, I'll come and get you, and so we'll just go back to the church and open up, because I know there's power down there. So, but anyway, he didn't have to. Said power, texted me back, said power came back on after about an hour, in 12 minutes, I believe. And that's just about right after that. I was getting ready to go to bed, and power went out on me, though. But it was only for about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, maybe. Yeah. So, but we were blessed, I tell you. And I had no problems whatsoever. No pipes freezing or anything. And
the march, Martin Luther King march was snowed out.
It was snowed out. Yeah, I woke up early, and it was just a lot. It took a lot out of me to get up that early, but. Bottom line is, I was ready. I was going to go out and participate as what I could. If anybody was going to have anything, I was going to be there. I done made that decision, and so I got in the car and I drove out. And Viaduct was clear, it was good, and drove out to the City Stamps Community Center. And of course, wasn't nobody out there. I knew it was too bad for anybody to even get out of their driveway. A lot of people. Right. So anyway, so it was canceled. And then there was another one that I was supposed to go to a few weeks, at the end of the week, last Saturday, in Murfreesboro. They always have a celebration at MTSU campus, and group down there. So I used to go to that and try to. And so I had luckily gotten tickets and went, and I was going to go there last Saturday. And then, thank goodness, I was dreading going because it was so cold and the weather was so bad, and I'd heard at the beginning of the week that it was going to get better by the end of the week, and it didn't happen. So, but it worked out. The young lady that's over it, she called me and said nope, they haven't had anything going on campus all week. So campus has been shut down, the MTSU. So she said, we're going to do it next week. I said, thank God for that. I really wanted to go, and it's something I've attended over the years, and number of years, and so it's still going to happen. It hadn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. So anyway, blessing. And we got through this very well, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. We're still here.
Yes, we are.
Amen. That's what counts, So
right here on Jackson Street, Tullahoma.
Right. That's right. And I thought Jackson Street I thought the city did a great job.
Well, the state had a whole lot to do with that too.
I'm sure they did. But and of course, side streets were really bad until we canceled church, and reluctantly didn't want to do it, but didn't want nobody to get hurt. Want to see them next Sunday.
It's not worth
Sunday, it. No, it ain't worth it. So I sent out a message and just told everybody. I said, you always consider yourself and your family, the health and wealth.
Well, you got 2 minutes, and we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. Well, before this show's over. So if you want to read something, you best bust it out. Bust a move.
Well, I had a.
There you go. That's a move.
Let it pick itself there. But of course, I was hoping to see Peggy today. I was going.
Peggy can't get here.
That's okay. I understand. And Peggy, we miss you.
Yeah, we do.
And we'll see you soon. And I was going to give Peggy her poem today, but her famed poem. But anyway, but I want to share something with you that I got a lot of these poems I do on special paper. This is one right here called True Friendship, and
let's hear it.
Oh, you want to hear it? Okay.
Yeah.
It says, true friendship is a special gift, blessed by God above, a gift that's shared by few in life, a godly kind of love. Not everyone experiences this joy that friends possess, but I have found in you a friend, and I am truly blessed. We know not of life's outcome. It's not for us to see. But my prayer is that I am to you the friend you are to me. And if anyone asks a question before my life should end as to whether I've known true friendship, I'll say, you were my friend.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I was blessed to go to the nursing home and take some little poems that I'm working on, and just to cheer up some folks there. And I got friends there, and then some folks I don't even know that I've just met at the nursing home. And it was just a blessing to be there.
Where'd you go?
Went to a Life Care.
Yeah.
And I went to. I've gone to NHC. I need to go back to NHC. One of my church members was at NHC, and she got moved out to get some test runs. So hopefully she's back. And
I hope so.
I'll go back down there and see her, but and take them something special.
You know what? You know what we got time for right now?
What's that?
Say goodbye.
Okay.
Say goodbye. Folks, thanks for watching.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Glad you made it through, and be safe out there still. And remember, the greatest of them all is love.
Love.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.